Today I'm just gonna go back to my kind of videos because I'm just doing that to reach out to people that can't read, but now I actually got a lot of the material from my earlier streams, and it was just the yarn project. If you go on them and excuse me, my throat is like killing me. All right. If you go on my earlier streams, I have like the part one and part two, and it shows everything up to this point. And anyways, here's this, because this is what I really like to do. Sometimes people complicate my life, and I try to make my life fun, and this is what I like to do for fun. But anyways, I lined up this when I was knitting. I probably made this too long, honestly. But I needed it to be like the middle of this because I'm gonna sew this to this. And I didn't realize I made this so long. I was on a knitting frenzy. Haha, I made a knitting joke. And anyways, this is gonna be the middle. But I know there's an ugly little hole. But see, I don't actually finish off or anything fancy because I work a lot, and it takes a conscious effort to do anything when I come home. Just to try to get ready for a stream is a conscious effort and exhausting. It really is. I'm just happy I made it. So sometimes I feel like I work in Vietnam. I really do. Everybody's just at each other, and I've worked with them for years, but sometimes they're very uh, and crazy. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it to the seam of this because I made it really long. Because I've been only knitting for probably a couple of years. But in earlier episodes, I show how I cast on, cast off, and slip knots, and how I am pretty much the damn alligator thing was worked over the other. I had to teach myself and reteach myself certain strokes, so it is what that is. But yeah, this would be nice. I'm gonna put this, like, thinking about this on the end. But when you make projects like this, I made this so it would come here, and I'm gonna take this here and sew this piece to here, and I'm gonna sew this on the other end like that, and I made two braids to sew on the end because we wanted it blue and orange for Special Olympics. So that's what's on the menu. I decided to go with a basic kind of white, just string it along as a primary thing because I'll be out of this yarn, or maybe just start it now would be a better idea. But you want a kind of a primary color. Oh, hello. I just started putting together my brother's yarn project. I have like other videos I've done on this. You'll just see brother's yarn rug. And I showed how I started it to where it is now. And it's there. I take like little pieces when I knit, and I cast when I don't do the final cast off. I slide it out and do yarn like embroidery. And this is my favorite yarn needle right here. And I have these things. I'm about ready to. I started a project already for yarn curtains. I'm doing those next because those are very exciting. I've never seen a curtain that you make out of yarn. I've never. There's no one I know that has a yarn curtain, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But I'm thinking white would be nice, like a border type thing. I'm gonna border this in white because I think it's so dark. You almost want it to kind of pop out a little. So when I border this out, oh hello, I got more people. I knitted this and I had a couple episodes and I was like kind of doing things a little at a time here. But I'm piecing together my brother's yarn rug for his table because he really likes these things a lot. So, but I was talking about borders, and I'm going to use this for the border because everything is really dark. And it's for the Special Olympics colors, but I don't want a dark border, and I'm thinking white might make it pop out. Usually you don't use white, but if you think of your yarn project kind of like when I put this on my yarn needle, I like to technically use metal because I think it's easier when you're doing a lot of. Because with this, instead of casting off and doing little things, you're just knitting like there's no tomorrow. And that's how it all starts. You're knitting like there's no tomorrow. And you don't really want to take the time to cast off and do this and that when you can just kind of sew it the way you want it. With this, I take 2 knots for the when I do it because I just think it has a better outcome. You don't want it to make it too much. I like to just do one and go real gentle when I first start stroking it. And you always like you'll have this, and just for this I want to make a really cute border. If you kind of just try to think of it like doing a painting or something, it makes it a lot easier. I've noticed that. Alright, and we're gonna put this on the underside because when you put it on the table, there's one that's not gonna look as pretty as the top, so we're just make this the bottom half. Because on the bottom half, it's nice, but these aren't really meant for people to keep and refuse to throw away for hundreds of years. These were made to just be practical, and if you don't have a tablecloth or anything, see, this doesn't want to come through. So sometimes that's why I like the metal needle because sometimes it has attitude and you gotta really push it through. But you try to get it through as much yarn as you can, and then you just come in and taper it out. And do the same thing here. But as you're putting it together and shaping it, it's almost like fishing wire. If you've ever been fishing, you're just kind of trying to fish through a place where you could just get it through. And then you just pull out a catch. So I just think of this as the fun part of knitting where you can cultivate it for yourself. Just like this little guy wants to do this because I don't make the most intricate stitches. I try to make things that are functional and fun. And I think yarn curtains are fun. See, sometimes I get a good stitch, sometimes I don't. If you try to just pick up any end here, because this is going to be the end that really doesn't need to look that good. He's using this for like hot plates and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make this really secure, and I made this a little thick when I did that since he's doing that. But since it's only for something like that, you don't have to worry. And this is my, and then I'll show you at the end of this video because they come out really nice. You can put on any surface really. You can put it on kitchen tables, coffee tables. I mean, and it takes me. I think it took me like a week. No, maybe 2 weeks. So let's say you have three special people in your life, and you want to do a set of these. I all I did all through Christmas, since I'm paying for things and I got things going on, I just made yarn stuff. Everybody loved it. And then I bought a crystal set, and then I made everybody crystals. I have them on my other videos, my early ones, jewelry making. I was making presents for my friends, literally. But yeah, that metal really just pokes through. So yeah, then you go here, and it already looks like that on that side. That's why I said this is, I guess, since people usually don't do this, we'll call this the working side. And the non working side would just be the pretty end. We'll just call it that because I don't know what else to call it. And then I'm going to connect these two because I need another braid that way. And then you just cut and you're done. And it stays. It's crazy, but it does. And then I just take it, make a other basic little knot, and do that. And it's easy. It's the easiest sewing you'll ever do in your life. And then I just take that, say sewed that in, and I'm just using the working end with this because it'll make it ugly. You don't want to make things ugly. You want to make it functional, but not. You don't gotta worry about spending a year on it. Okay, this longer one. I should put this on that end. I'm gonna put this in the middle because I think this other little braid would be better on the end. See, you're constantly thinking of these things when you're doing projects. This is how it is when you do a major yarn project, and I can show you how you can repair everything in here. Because it's a little repair project there. Alright, now we're to this level. Alright, we're just worried about sewing in this braid to over here. So that's where these metal needles really come in handy. And they're just sewing ones. I think my husband got them online for like, I think it was $5, something like that. And it came up with all this. And these are all different yarn needles. There's only one, there's a couple metal ones, but I like this wider one. And they have other ones. But, I mean, I use it all the time. And I just sat there and said, yarn needles, what could I use it for? And then I came up with this. But, I'm coming through here. Because sometimes this yarn gets stubborn. It really, really does. And just mind you, I just picked white just for my working end. But you could pick any color you want. If you want to pick the color of this, you can pick the color of this. Because it really doesn't matter. That's what is good about yarn embroidery. And I've actually learned to like this because being a person that likes to do fun knitting, I'd like to knit, but I don't have time to make a whole blanket. I can't. I'm not one of those people. But I just go, you know what? This looks so nice and pretty. I wonder if I could just I just like make a simple little rug. So I was making these little for the residents. I made like a little table rugs for their hospital stuff. Because I like to do my little knitting projects be done in a week or two. It helps me relax from a long shift at work. And I just come out here. But yeah, and honestly, they love them. I mean, I'm not saying you should put a big hot pan. Maybe if you put something on top of this that was more fireproof, but it could like maybe be good for like the middle of your table if he was to do it, which he would. That's probably what he's gonna do and put his like salt and pepper and stuff. And then with this, it would have the size, but you can make any way you want. I do the braids. I've had that in a couple episodes too. I show you how to do yarn braids. Yarn braids are fun and easy, and they give fun to your yarn stuff because it should be fun. They say it's relaxing. Yes, it is relaxing, traditional styles, but I guess at the end of the day, it should be fun and functional, I think. A lot of people don't think that of knitting, but yeah, people take it too seriously sometimes. I mean, I get a lot of my ideas watching the YouTubers that are knitters. Then I have my own ideas, like for these yarn braids. I don't really see people braiding the yarn. And I just like, that would be really nice with a yarn braid for certain projects. Like with these curtains for my room, I'm going to probably be doing yarn braids to give it color and texture and a little bit diversity. Because what is life without diversity and fun? Because, I mean, we all can't be knitting the same way as we knitted, like our grandparents knitted. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that, learning traditional ways. I knit with my, I got traditional knitting tools. I got my favorite set, but I'm doing my curtains with my bigger set. I got lots of sets, but this set's my favorite. And I still do that for you, but it doesn't, it's not as intimidating that it seems. Everybody acts like it's hard. It's because it's not bad. It's just, something you learn. It's repetitive. And it's all about a lot of loops and stuff. I mean, if you could do that, and I'm very good with things like that. Alright, I got that attached to that. Now I'm going to attach this to that. See, it's all about this too. I'm going to just cut here, because he wanted a longer piece for his table. So hopefully he just puts this in the middle. Because I really don't feel like making him matching ones for the plates. Because I gotta start my curtains. Sometimes I do a yarn project just for me. But I seem to be doing it for all these people around me. They're either Christmas gifts and people are looking forward to, oh, I thought you were going to do this for me. They gotta hurry up and get that done. Because sometimes I would rather make people presents before I actually go do all the drama of trying to get it and get it here, deal with postage. So I just figured what I kind of would make everybody to get, I don't know, little themes. So I made little crystal stuff. And I ordered the crystals, from time to time and just made it all myself. And I thought it was, and it actually went over pretty big. So since I've been doing this, occasionally my people that are close to me, by people, they have me doing these other little stuff because it's becoming a thing now. And you know how things go. Sometimes people they get excited, and then before you know, you're making yarn rugs for residents. And I do this quite often, but I'm just sewing in and out on this, and it doesn't matter what stitch you get as long as you can get your needle, yank it through. And that's why I like the metal needle if you're dealing with the yarn braids, because they're thicker, because you're literally braiding the yarn. And I might have some of my other episodes I have with yarn braiding. I did a bunch of them. Literally the different kinds. There's the 18 count where you have 6 strings of 3, and then so on, but it's always 3. And then the 24 string, I think I have one of those. I mean, if it gets lost in the live streams, I just might redo it. Because it seems like this yarn braiding is becoming a thing, and I'll be doing it a lot. So I actually might do another video on that, just in case it's kind of confusing. Because I'm not the best at organizing all of my stuff on YouTube. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Facebook usually does this stuff for me. And I don't understand how to get my stuff organized. But I got there, so I might do another episode, honestly, with yarn braiding. Because I do this in a lot of my projects around the house to give it like a nice flair and some durability where I can make curtains and stuff. Like I made a hippie thing here. Alright. I made Hippieville. There's Hippieville. I kind of did all the yarn work for the lamp. And then I found like nice like material and put it around it, and then I stringed it with all that. And I got my dragon over there. And I started growing a jade plant, and I usually always kill them. All the time this happens. But since we moved into the new house, the lighting or something or the juju's better here because now my plants don't die. It's very odd. I guess that's a good thing. Alright. And then here we go again. Just putting this here. Alright. And this is pretty long. I think he'll be happy with this, honestly. Alright. Here. And with this. See, I hope he doesn't sit there and be like he does with Ma's rugs. Because sometimes she makes really nice knitted stuff that looks really fancy and professional. So he told me you can knit if you wanted to. You can knit a rug. It's like I'm always at work. I don't have time for that. But See how I'm just kind of throwing this in? This is the hardest part of the project because it's all up to you, these rugs. That's what the great thing about it is. It's up to you which color you want to use for your working side. It's up to you if you want it more orange, whatever colors you want, you use. Whatever you feel that whoever you're making it for is a present. Because if I put a lot of effort into something, I'm calling it a present and saving money. Because this is an awful lot of work. I've been working on this for like 3 weeks, and it's a lot. So I call these presents. But like I said, you figure what you think would look good here or there, and I'm no expert at this at all, but I just kind of formulated this and envisioned it in my head what I would like it to look like. I don't know how I was going to get it there, but this is what my brain came up with. Because that's a tall order. Not a lot of people are making yarn kitchen stuff. So, I mean, I'm pretty damn impressed for what it is. And like I said, it's not something that you're gonna win an award at a craft show for. Not at all. You would have to have flawless knitting, and it's really hard to have flawless knitting unless you knitted for a long time. Because I knitted for a little bit. I kind of knew, but I didn't. I couldn't knit with two sticks. But some of the videos over here, like I could show you guys, like when I get this whole project finished, like maybe tomorrow I'll go back to a couple of yarn things and I'll give the charity videos a break. Because what I could do is just start from scratch. I'll start with how to do a slip knot, and then we'll go from there, from the slip knot. Then I'll go straight, honestly, to the different stuff, and we'll go from the basics again, since the other streams probably weren't that good. See, I was pretty much done with this anyway. Sometimes it gets stuck for a minute. But we're all the way at the end, so it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's like that when you get to the end. No worries, though. It's yarn. But, anyways, this is how it looks. Alright. Trying to get this better angle on the camera. I'm gonna pull my table up. Alright, I don't know if I'm allowed to have my vape brand there. Cares. Alright, I don't know if you can see this. I'm seeing it through my camera. It says orientation is lock, rotate device back. Alright, well, there it is. I didn't see it before because when I put it sideways, that's what I got. But yeah, I got that from just. Oh, and here's the dog sleeping. Here's the puppy. Here's a cute little puppy. He's so cute. But here's let me move this up here. But like I said, it was 3 weeks of just stuff I like to do to unwind. And I just got, the more you do something, the better you get. Even if you're uncoordinated like me, you'll get better. And believe me, it might take you a minute, but so what? It's life. If you take life too serious, it will beat you up. You can't. But right here, let me show you this. See how that hole was there? I literally took a string, pulled it up like that, and I'm just tying it literally. If you tie it and then cut it kind of short like this, you can't even tell you made a mistake in there. It looks like a part of the stitch. That's a knitter's secret that I found out. See, right there's a whole little gaping hole there. So what I'm going to do is take this and you put it under here. And it happens. Okay, I'm not perfect. I didn't make the best blanket in the world. I'm not even sure if I can make a damn blanket, really. As bad as this sounds. I probably could, but it's going to take time, and I like to do the fun things. And things like that don't seem fun to me. I like the fun projects. I like to be the person that, oh yeah, I knitted that the your table centerpiece. Okay, see, I just tied that together, and the hole just vanished. And then I try to cut these as short as I can. It blends in. See? See where these holes were? No more holes. And you could take this and continue around this end, and you could put more braids if you want, which I might. Maybe tomorrow I'll do the braids and I'll finish this piece. I'll finish this piece with braids tomorrow and teach you guys how to do the braiding. That's probably a good idea. I have no idea like what to do sometimes in good topics. So I know I have a art. I always have craft ideas. So that's why I try to air these guys. But I think we're gonna do a braid here tomorrow, and I'm gonna make sure I have this yarn. Then we're gonna have a braid here. And then I'm gonna do a small braids on the ends of here to secure this whole thing. And then I'm gonna bunch it up more this way. And like tie in the little like whole parts like this I'll probably have to tie, and then I could tie tomorrow. But see how like I had those bad parts and they're like diminished? And that's all you do is just take it and tie it. But we'll do the final touches I think tomorrow, and then I'll start showing you how I'm making my curtains. Alright, I'm gonna put this back here and we'll finish this up. I have so many little things I do at one time. I'm always starting one thing to another. But in this little bag, I try to separate because I have different knitting needles. These I'm making for the curtains. And then I got these. And they're just like shower curtain things. Honestly. They're so easy and so cheap. And I could probably put these through here, and I'm going to make them. And I was starting this project because I'm going to probably have one piece left, and I could show you guys how to cast on and stuff for my yarn curtains too. But that that I just showed you, that table rug that I made for my brother, that one is with these needles. And these are bigger needles. My brother got me a bunch of different sets, and see how it's coming down lacy? I mean, I could work on this just so you could see, because I'll show you like an instructional thing how to get it like this. So I could do that. I mean, it's, to me, it's so easy. And I just kind of do it a little looser than most people when they're knitting. And I usually try to work on these a little bit before I come in the stream too. But I can always chat with you guys. But see, I'll show you like two, because I'll be working on these lace curtains for probably 3 weeks. This is no lie. So you'll have plenty of time to learn how to do this. Because I'm working 5 days straight, and people aggravate me so much sometimes. This is the only thing that calms me. But this is kind of like how I start my lacy type things, and that's kind of what I did when I showed you the lamp, where I took an old lampshade and kind of just made it like hippie looking. I do that a lot. I call it the hippie look, and the hippie look is just being creative with arts and crafts. You don't even have to yarn if you don't want to. To me, I think it keeps you out of trouble, and you can really create beautiful things. In this, a lot of like crafters, they show you how to do it, but they don't show you what you could do with it. And that's the thing. They're not doing none of that. So, I mean, I could show you, I like to do things for practical reasons. Like, I wanted my curtain to look nice I wanted my little lampshade to look good so I can hang crystals, because I wanted a hippie look. I look to yarn. And I think that if I had, like, I'm thinking about making this a border for the top of my curtains. And literally, this will cost me no money because I already had the knitting needles. And for $35, my brother got me like, I think it was 6 sizes. He got 7 sizes for me. I mean, they got a ton of these, and the thing is, when would you need big ones? But the bigger ones do really well with this kind of loose, because you're not wearing this. This is more, I want to say, the decorative end of knitting, honestly, because, I mean, knitters are kind of like cooks. Some cooks are more old school, some, you know what I mean, and every knitter's kind of different, I've noticed. You know, some don't do anything real creative with it. And you could be really creative with yarn. That's the thing. It could be very artistic. So, I mean, what I did to my lamp was very artistic. I always try to do fun things that you would see designers getting or whatever. And a machine can't do this. And it's nice is because you control your own destiny with all this stuff. You really do. And I like to call this, because I'll show you tomorrow, because I'm going to like probably just do a one top of the curtain here. And then tomorrow I'll show you how to cast on and everything with this. But yeah, we'll find this. I'll be doing this. I'm just kind of giving you that, and then tomorrow we'll just do this. And then I'll go over the yarn braids and maybe try to reinforce it and say it in different videos. I guess we'll say. But right now, I'm just trying to get the belly, and sometimes I do a lot of this before I come on stream. But I don't know, maybe I'll do some over here. I'm just literally doing prep work because you'll be doing a lot of this, like depending on what kind of project you want. I mean, once you know how to do these basic methods, like these, I've noticed are good for making a lampshade that's really ugly look pretty because things are expensive. Who has time to go to Macy's and all that, spend all kinds of money when food's expensive? But these curtain ideas and table stuff, people really like it. I mean, I'm talking people that got money like it. They think it's really cute. Because a lot of people aren't doing this and they like, fancy things and people like fancy things. And I don't mind sharing my ideas. I'm just here to chill and I guess just chill today. I did a depression awareness thing yesterday, but I'm not going to be doing depression videos every day. I'm a blogger. I blog pretty much what I feel like doing for the day. If it's kind of rainy and cold, so I feel like knitting. I mean, if it's a really good, fun, sunny day, I'm going to be at the park. I mean, it just depends on the weather. And we'll see, but tomorrow, like, because I did an Instagram post earlier. Oh, I actually, no, I did live stream on Instagram of the dog walk, but because I try to keep, talk to my friends, and whatever you share on Instagram goes straight to Facebook. So I find it easier just to do on Instagram, and then eventually it gets shared over to Facebook, and I got my little group. So it serves purposes. But yeah, you can see how elegant this is, and I'm doing this just so you could see that it's not taking a ton of time, and how you can create something elegant with just a little imagination and some yarn, and yarn is really cheap. It is so cheap, and it actually will fancy up your house. And if you didn't have to go broke getting it, why not? So I look at it. I think I got a fancy little lamp, but see, it doesn't really take me long, and I could like throw down the rows, and it comes with time. I've been doing this about a month, and I've been practicing and learning from my mistakes for this entire month. It's been like this, so. And I find it easier to stick it straight up like this, because I can't control two needles. I have issues, especially when it comes to that. So I keep it right like this, and I just hold the needle up. And I just go in like that because I always drop the needle. This way I can hold it better because I'm kind of holding it against me. And I'm using me to platform it. And then I'm pulling up and out. I'm going under, around this one, and then I'm going under that. And with this thumb, you can push it over. And then you go like that. And you go under, around, and then you keep going out this way. We can see out this way and that way. And just take it up and have this thumb hold everything. And if you feel like these needles are sliding, you literally just, you're holding against yourself. And this is the only way I can knit, because it's the other way, to me is, it's crazy and it's just too much. And I can't do it. So that's just how I feel about that whole situation. But see how that's starting to come down? With this method, you can go quicker because this won't take you a year to do anything. This is a nice quick method. And like I said, I'm going to even go more intricate with it, because we're going to be doing this probably for 3 weeks. This is going to be a big project, these curtains. And it's going to take me like 3 weeks for that. And then after the curtains, I'll think of something else. Because I'll find something else I want to fancy up. But this is how I prep for these things. I just pull them in and out, and I try to get a little done. And this literally is the only way I can hold a knitting needle, and it's sad. But I think this would be good for anybody with arthritis, honestly. The older crowd, or the younger crowd that's uncoordinated when it comes to knitting. I get it. People are sometimes uncoordinated. I'm uncoordinated all the time. And people says, "Oh, you must be good with your hands." I can't play video games. I just cultivated a way to be able to knit in a fast fashion and get what I want and be able to do it. It's a very unorthodox method that I will agree with, but it gets me by, and I do think it'd be good for just being able to keep track of it. And I go under the belly of this, and I make sure it hangs down. I make very few mistakes this way. You see how it's coming down? I like to stop when I like to like row it down a little before I put it back in my bag, because I feel that it's delicate to a certain point. So I try to hurry up and just knit my way down when I'm starting something. But see how I'm constantly, you just push it up gently. And then you're constantly, if you have to rest this, you rest this over here, and you make way less mistakes. And while I'm holding this here, I'm pulling up more stitches. This is all I'm doing. It's perfect, because I'm not about to sit there and get carpal tunnel and everything from a hobby. And I make sure this is straight every single time I come up, because I have a problem keeping my rows straight. I really do. My rows are hardly ever straight. But lately with this method, my rows can actually be straight. And I can have this fancy looking stuff. I've noticed with this method way better. And I think it's because I'm able to get it done. I feel less pressured. And it's something I could do where my hands don't hurt, but I'm moving it at a quicker speed. And I just come around and about. But you see how nicely it just comes about. You could get into the groove with it, because you're not bothering yourself. You're not saying, like, if someone comes to the door, I'm knitting. Ah. You don't have to do that. You just say, I'll simply do. You could put these down and you could be alright. I mean, with your crocheting, with this hand method of crocheting, if someone came to the front door, you're like, ah, you would have to because how you gonna open the door now? Because it's all with your hands. It's like I'm gonna probably practice crocheting because I have a whole crocheting set, but everything's with your hand. With knitting, I kind of like that it's hands free. You could put it down, and just like I can get my other knitting needles and start stuff. Like I have like tomorrow, I'll probably do since I gonna have to finish my brother's thing. I'm just going to, but I'm just kind of showing you what this is going to be kind of like. I'm preparing for the curtain stream because I mean I'm doing it for one whole window. So I'm going to be starting another one because I have a set that's almost this exact size. I think it is this exact size, but I'm going to be using those. So I like to call these my chopsticks. Is my funny nickname for my knitting stuff. I get my chopsticks out. And I have something from similar to this size, so I'll probably start like different things and just have a couple of them ongoing. Because it's good to have a couple knitting needles, as you don't know, if you want this longer or shorter, especially if you're starting a big project like this. Because it is, as you figure I got two windows in my thing, so in my bedroom. This is the most peaceful room in my house. This is why I'm always in my bedroom. My neighbors can't hear me. It's much more private and it's more relaxing to me because I've decorated and made my bedroom very nice. I really have because I enjoy the space that you're in the most is where I think you should knit because it's very meditative and it is. It kind of, you can just, no matter what problems you have for the day, a little knitting kind of makes me feel better. I don't know, it's weird. Probably because I'm getting my mind off other stuff. And that's okay. I mean, it's good for depression, it's good to keep your mind off bad things. And it's good to have projects, and yarn is something that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to worry about joining a club. And I have easy ways of doing stuff. See how I'm just holding that stick and propping it here? Just prop it against your leg. That's it. Get a long needle, prop them up against your leg. Especially if you want to do big sticks for like curtains or something. You could do for lampshades if you want to make a table rug like this, you can, but I don't know if it would maybe be good for the top, like an embroidery for the top, but I don't think it wouldn't be good for hot stuff. You want smaller chopsticks for them. So, I mean, I call these my chopsticks because I think I like to have funny names. I think it gives fun to the day. When people are too serious, and I have depression, so I don't like to be in Seriousville. Seriousville is not fun. I like to come home, forget about whatever problems I have, and if I need to, start knitting. Because why not? It's not illegal to knit, and it's not expensive to knit, and it's beneficial to your whole life. So no matter what, you got your ups. I mean, that's what I would think. I would think even if you suffered from, like, I don't know, alcoholism or something, and you know how, like, you gotta forget about this and you're always thinking about the beer. I think if you did some knitting or crafting, or maybe for the men, my son was making, when he was going through AA, he was making coffee tables. He had a workbench in his basement of his dad's house as he was staying in one of his dad's houses. And he went down there, and was visiting him one day, and he had his whole workbench and all this stuff going on down there. And he was learning how to, like, it was like with the wood, and he had like the wood on the bottom, like a tree, like one, like a log, and then he was putting glass on the top, but he took a wolf and burned an impression of the wolf in the middle, and then put the glass over. But I mean, he didn't want to go back to drinking, so this is what he did. And like I said, pick your arts and crafts. I mean, to a woman, that's, oh shit. See, there was problems. You just put it back on there. Now you can start over. See, this is why I do this method, because I'm so clumsy. This is a clumsy person's way of knitting. And I'm not going to be that knitter that gets snotty and wants to and act like it's easy. I'm telling you the truth. Knitting is very complicated sometimes. And why make it more complicated than it honestly needs to be? So, I just come down this way, and see, it's not even taking me long over here, and I would have really seriously messed up big time. I would have. There would have been issues. But, see? And if you have too much tension in it, because all the knitters talk about making it too tight, all you do at this point is loosen up, or you throw a stitch overboard. And you sew it literally in your piece. I mean, it's not hard at all if you think about it in those terms. Some of these knitters, they're great and all, but they're way more coordinated than me. And honestly, if you come learn a more traditional method, that's fine. I'm not a traditional person when it comes to knitting a lot, but I do have unique looking projects that sometimes the experienced knitters at my work think is nice. And I tell them, I didn't do the traditional style. They go, "Oh, that's okay." I mean, it turns out the same way. It's just a hell of a lot quicker and more efficient. I like for my curtains, I like to pull this over and make sure it's like super loose. Because it depends on your project. You might want them a little bit tighter, or you might want them super loose. I want this to look lacy and fun. Because this is going to be decorative. It's not going to be work. It's just one little decorative thing that I'm going to put and dress up my window like a hippie window. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm just glad my dog doesn't bother with my stuff. I think because he knows I'll be mad. I don't know. See? And I have a lot to go, so that's why I said I'm just showing you. I mean, you'll be doing prep work like when you get home from work. When you do start your own project, if this kind of craft interests you, you'll be doing prep work like me. And like I said, I'm just doing my prep work. I'm just at this point, I have no one to blog, so I'm just blogging myself. My husband works like 6 days a week. I mean, once in a great, he was on the one stream for my depression stream, but that was like the one time he's actually ever can be in the stream because usually he's at work. And it's a daily thing, so I have a lot of time to promote to streaming. And I'm just now having in me to go back to college. I figure I could just do something that makes me feel better and I can get to a couple people. Because to me, just to be able to come in and maybe help somebody learn a more simpler way to knit or just bullshit about life seems like a fun thing. You know, and you guys are very polite over here, which I like. A lot of people aren't overly polite on Facebook. So, I mean, I've learned as a streamer that I just don't let it bother me when people are being impolite. But you guys pretty much are polite over here on YouTube. I mean, they kind of have everybody. I'm friends with another live streamer because he kind of gave me confidence to come over there, live going. He came in my stream. He was like right when I got my live button for over here, and I was scared. I didn't need to know if I was going to be a streamer over here because that was a lot. 'Cause I'm not used to all that, and I got autism, so that wasn't helping. Not that it's an excuse, but you know. But he was like, "Oh, you'll be fine." And I think the first streams kind of were crap. I'm not gonna lie. Your first of anything is not gonna be good. My first yarn project was really kind of horrible. I mean, they were okay, but they weren't what I would say good. But it kind of gave me the confidence to come over here. But overall, everybody's not as polite as you guys. It's either they're sarcastic or just sometimes rude, or sometimes they are polite. Sometimes they shock you. Instagram, everyone's pretty much polite on Instagram. More polite sometimes than Facebook. People kind of get rowdy over there. I seen a post yesterday. Somebody, when I was, because I share other people's videos, and this, I think it was something about a war. I don't know. There's something going on. Don't know, but it looked like it was a Middle Eastern setting. I don't even know what country it was, but they showed a post of a kid that got shot by a machine gun, and there was blood. I was like, oh no. I'm sure that Facebook took it down because I haven't seen it. I just did not share it, was not going to share it. I I just know I said that I think when I live streamed over there, I said I got the post that a boy was shot with a machine gun. And I just said, and it was Allah, they're praying to Allah, so that's why I put together that region. So I said that I hope everybody's okay in that situation, and I tried to do what I can, but I was not sharing that. I don't know what kind of trouble I'd be in, but it wouldn't be a good thing for me. I had a feeling that somehow as a digital creator over there that would just not be good. And I guess they're at war. I don't know. They're always at some kind of different kinds of conflicts in the world, so I don't know. But I was staying out of it. And there's a lot of Biden posts over there now. I'm trying to stay away from the political posts when I share them to my groups. I really am. Because religion, I mean, I do some Christian prayers to the Chong group, but, and I do, on the Chong group, I recognize, everyone's religion and all that is okay, but if it's going to be too contradicting, that's why I got the other groups. But I'm trying not to make it overly religious. Just nice. And I can't have, and I don't really like a lot of the sexual, I don't do any of the promoting the sexual videos because I just feel it gives you a bad name if you have a decent group on Facebook. So I don't be sharing those either. So, but yeah, this is how half my day goes because I gotta spend so much time on Facebook, and then I have my groups are getting actually more popular because I got Chong, the capital Chong, and you see my dog's picture, and then I got Chong Gothic. I have one with, I'll show you the picture of my Gothic book where I got my one painting that I had done. I have that with my painting that I had made. My friend, well, she was the administrator of Chong. Well, I think she took a break from social media, so I think she's back. If she's back, I'm gonna make her administrator again because I'm over there doing administrator things. Because it's got popular. We have these groups for over a year. I got a lot of good shares out of them. But see, just that little time because I'm preparing for tomorrow to show you how I did this with other needles. Because I might as well just stick with this and give the book reading a break. Here, I'm gonna show you this now. Alright, that is where my second chunk. My friend, I did not paint that. My friend Maria Harmony did from Facebook. So that is from her, but on my Chong Gothic group, that's the picture on top of it. Then I have another one that's like that is my dog, but that his avatar. And then I'm gonna show you guys my lamp. And so I made this go. It's an old lampshade. I did it all hippie style. I did that, and it was stuff I already had around the house. So this cost me maybe $3 to do. Well, I did buy the plant, so $6. That's a big save, and it looks good. And I'm going to show you over here where I'm going to be putting this curtain. See where that window's at, or the angel? I want to kind of put on the top of the window, but because I don't want it with like kind of with the angel and bother the angel, and holding up because that's a nice painting. But these are my projects, the personal projects that are going to be going on. And I will be over here tomorrow. And we're going to do the yarn braiding, finish up my brother's rug, and we might do different things and just show you different things so you can start learning how to do this so you can get your own ideas and make your own projects. Because that's what life's all about. Learn from me and for your life. So, thank you for listening to me. And I will see you tomorrow for more yarn because I'm going to give the book a break. And have a good day.